They're with North American Title. We've done a lot of transactions with them, and I think it's one of those really important things that a lot of people don't think of. When you think of title insurance, you think it's really boring, but you don't really understand the importance of it. And she'll kind of talk about it briefly.
Yeah, I do have the most boring job. In fact, that was going to be my opening. A lot of people say to me, "What do you do? And why do I need you?" Those are the two biggest questions that we have. And so I do have two big packets you guys have in there. One has, the North American Title on the top. I'm not going to go through this first one that looks like this. I'm not going to go through it all in detail. But it does have a few things that you need to know when you're buying a home. There's a few documents that you will see that will overwhelm you, and they're my part of the process. And so I did include them in here, and it actually has an explanation of what everything is. So there's a little a guide right here, and then it also goes through your PR. We call it PR, Preliminary Title Report. The reason this is so important is because when you're buying a home, you want to know what you're getting. So it lets you know if there's anything ugly on the property. If there are boundary line issues, if there's judgments, tax liens, some of those kinds of things. You might go to want to buy a home and it might have so many liens on it from your seller that there's no way they can sell it to you and give you clean title. So it's just something to watch for. We go in, we clear everything off, we make sure everything's taken care of, and then we insure it. And that's why you need us, because we're insuring it. If we miss something, when I do this report for you and for your lender and for your agents, and we miss something, then we're on the hook for that. So obviously I try really hard to be really careful and not be on the hook for anything. The other part of it is that I'm the middleman. So I'm the closer. I go in and I do the closings. And it's my job to make sure that your lender doesn't charge you too many fees. Can I really tell you that? No, I can't. But I can tell you if they've done a good job for you, which I do try to point that out. And most of the time, your lenders do a good job for you, and so do your agents, because they want your business. They want you to tell other people how great they are so they can get more business. So I am the neutral third party, and I go and I make sure that things are done right from the lender's perspective, from the agent's perspective, from the seller side, and also from your side. And so we kind of bring everything together to make sure all the numbers match up and make sure that everything looks good. I have an example in here of a settlement statement, and I've outlined, it's numbered and it tells you what everything is. This is the most confusing document. When you come into a closing, we do go through it line by line and we explain it to you, but I'm not going to lie, it is a little overwhelming. So this is a really good kind of a breakout for you, tells you what is in each section. If you are buying, you're only going to worry about this left-hand column of numbers. Okay, you won't worry about the other side because that's the seller side. So you're just going to worry about your buyer side. And then the second page of your HUDs actually has all of your costs. This is the breakdown of all of your fees. So it has your lender fees, it has your escrow account, your homeowner's insurance, if you have mortgage insurance, and then also all of your title fees on there. So that's just a couple of things for you. And then behind that, I do have a list of documents. You'll hear these documents talked about, or not, like I said, you can go home and study it at home. I don't want to bore you guys to death. But just know, these are some of the documents that would be talked about in your transaction. The seller will do a warranty deed, and that's what transfers title into your name. So that gets recorded when we're ready to fund. And I'm going to tell you the steps of the process here in just a second so you can understand that too. And then for your loan, you'll have a deed of trust, or a trust deed, that gets recorded to let them know, to let the public record know that you have a loan on your property. So, Kendrick has a story to tell us why you need title insurance. He's standing there and smile, so I know everybody wants to share his story.
This is my 15 minutes of fame right here. Well, I'm not going to take 15 minutes, it'll be more like 15 seconds. So, the way title insurance was explained to me, because when they asked me if I wanted to work in title insurance, I'm like, sure, what is that, you know? Title insurance, so homeowners insurance, car insurance covers things that could happen in the future. Title insurance covers what may have happened in the past. So how many of you one day want to have a house with a swimming pool in the backyard? I know I do. I love to swim. So we have clients that, well actually they weren't my clients. It wasn't even, this is a story that really
a title industry story
of people that I know. Anyway, they were looking for a house, and their purpose for looking for this house was they wanted a swimming pool. And they didn't care if it already had a swimming pool, or as long as it had enough room that they could put a swimming pool in. And so they went through and relayed that information to their real estate agent, but that's about as far as it went. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't something they were talking about all the time. So they found this property that had the best backyard in the world for a swimming pool. And so as soon as they bought the house and finished closing, they were going to start digging that dirt and have a swimming pool. What they didn't realize when they went to do it and had to pull the permits is there was an easement that went through from a power company that would not allow them to dig deeper than 3 feet in their backyard, in the main portion of their backyard. And so they were no longer allowed to build a swimming pool in their backyard, and were obviously very upset. And it wasn't something that was necessarily missed by the title company. They just didn't know that's what they were looking for. And so they were, blaming a lot of people. So that's why it's very important to make sure that you've got title insurance, that you have people searching that property and telling you if there's easements going through the property that allow access or don't allow access. So that's just something I wanted to share.
And I have another one, and I know you're not going to be able to see it. I wish I would have done a slide. Chris is going to go, oh, yeah, he knows about this one. But there are some places, so you get a legal description. Everybody's property has a legal description. That's what we go off of when we record the word to deed and the deed of trust. The legal description tells public record what piece of land you own, right? But there's a lot of places. There's a few in Orem. There's a lot in Salem, Elk Ridge, Woodland Hills, a lot of communities that they're off. They don't line up. So on this one, and I know you're not going to be able to see it, but I will explain, their lot is slid over. The county has slid it over on accident. There's just a regular legal description lined up, and they own half of the road, but the neighbors own the back side of their house and their sheds and things like that. So what happened is these people that are outlined in the yellow, 12-foot strip of their property is actually the neighbor's house and sheds. So these people went to go get a building permit to build their home on their lot that they just bought. And guess what? They can't get a building permit. So guess who gets to fix it? Me. So we have worked, they got a surveyor, we're doing boundary line agreements, we've almost got them signed and done, but we're having to make it so the county recognizes this lot and shift it over. So that's something else that we do. This deal already is done, but because we're a title company and we take care of people and that's what we do, and technically I don't have to do that, but we want to make sure everybody's happy. These people bought this lot thinking they could build a house, and now the city's telling them no. But there are places where sometimes there's a gap, we call it a gap, where it doesn't quite line up, or an overlap. And so we help you with that too, and we take care of that. So it really is important. A lot of people are like, I don't need title insurance, I don't want to pay for it. I promise you, you do. You don't think you need it until something goes wrong, and then you do need it. But just really brief, and then I'm done, I promise. I told you, mine was like the most complex part, so I'm sorry about that. But the process, how it goes, is if you have a deal with a title company, so you're buying a house with Chris, he's going to order a title report. We search it, we make sure everything looks good. We're going to work with the lender, we get all the documents together. We wait, coordinate with the other title company, with the sellers, and then when it's your big day, you come into our office, we'll sit down and we sign everything with you. We'll go through every document. If you're a reader and you want to read every page, please, please, please tell your lender, your agent, and your title company ahead of time that you're a reader, because they only allot about 30 to 45 minutes for you to go through all the documents and sign them. So if you want to read them, everybody is perfectly happy to email them to you so you can print them out and read them. To try and read them in the closing, it will take you about 4 hours to read through all the documents or more. That's just not a doable situation when you're at the title company trying to do your closing. So let them know. So we go through your documents, we explain them, you get them all signed, we notarize them, we copy them, we get them all neat, nice and neat, we get them back to your lender. The next day, your lender will send us any funding conditions that they have. We take care of those. They're going to wire to the title company. Then we wire to your seller's title company. They'll record the warranty deed, put the property into your name. Then we record your deed of trust. We disperse the funds, and then it's all yours. So the important thing to remember is the day you sign, you don't get keys. You get keys the next day. Sometimes it's 2 days later. Because sometimes there's really hard funding conditions, or maybe the seller didn't do something right, didn't sign something right. So you have to be a little bit patient. When you don't want to book your moving truck for the day of your closing, because you won't be moving in that day. So, I don't know, does anybody have any questions?
And then when you get your taxes, and you're gonna do those, and you can't remember how much you paid in closing costs, you can call Don, you can call Chris, and they will call us, or you can call us, and we will send you any documentation that you cannot find possibly, or that you don't realize you need.
We keep everything scanned.
We'll get that for you.
So you can write off your origination fee. If you have FHA, mortgage insurance up front, you can write that off. So some of your closing costs you can write off on your taxes. So that's something to remember too. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.